Tom Selleck was not just considered for Indiana Jones, he was cast. Born on January 29, 1945 in Detroit, Michigan, Selleck was in his mid-30s and still largely unknown when George Lucas picked him for Raiders of the Lost Ark. Lucas had a specific concern. He did not want to use Harrison Ford again so soon after Han Solo, worried that audiences would see the same face in both franchises. So Selleck screen-tested opposite Sean Young, and the footage still exists today, showing a confident, easy chemistry in the bar reunion scene.
Hello, Marty.
Karen Allen, who had already been cast as Marion Ravenwood, later confirmed that Selleck was not merely in the running, he had the part. And then CBS picked up the pilot for Magnum. Selleck had signed a standard contract. The network exercised its option, and he was contractually locked out of the biggest adventure film of the decade. The cruelest detail came afterward. An actor's strike delayed production on Magnum that year, meaning Selleck would have had time to shoot Raiders after all. Karen Allen has said she believes it remains one of the great regrets of his career. Steven Spielberg pushed Lucas back toward Harrison Ford, and about a month later the fedora belonged to somebody else. Selleck went on to become a television institution through Magnum, P.I. and Friends, and 18 years on Blue Bloods. Today, he is 81. Indiana Jones endures because timing decided it, and Harrison Ford made it look inevitable. Al Pacino turned down Han Solo, and he has confirmed it in his own words. Born on April 25, 1940 in East Harlem, New York, Pacino was in his mid-30s and at the absolute height of his powers after The Godfather when George Lucas came to him with Star Wars. In his memoir Sonny Boy, Pacino described the situation plainly. After The Godfather, he said, the studios would have let him play anything. The role was his for the taking. There was only one problem. He read the script and could not understand it. He did not dismiss it lightly either. He passed the pages to his acting teacher, Charlie Lawton, who could not make sense of it either. So Pacino said no, and the part went to a carpenter and part-time actor named Harrison Ford, who had been reading lines off camera for other auditions. Pacino has spoken about it with unusual honesty over the years, framing it not as a mistake, but as a simple failure to see what was there. Instead, he continued building one of the most respected careers in American film, through Dog Day Afternoon, Scarface, Heat, and an Academy Award for Scent of a Woman. Today, he is 86. Han Solo endures because Ford made cynicism charming, and because the man who could have had him first simply did not get the joke. Will Smith turned down Neo, and years later, he explained exactly why in a video he made himself. Born on September 25, 1968 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Smith was 29 in 1997 and arguably the biggest movie star on the planet, coming straight off Independence Day and Men in Black. The Wachowskis came in to pitch The Matrix. By Smith's own account, the pitch did not land. He has described the meeting as sitting on a fine line between genius and something else entirely, and at the time he could not tell which side it was on. So he said no and made Wild Wild West instead. The Matrix went on to gross more than $460 million and win 4 Academy Awards. Wild Wild West was savaged by critics. Smith has been direct about it, saying flatly that he is not proud of the decision, but he has also made an interesting argument in his own defense. Keanu Reeves was perfect, he said, and Lawrence Fishburne was perfect, and if Smith had taken the role, the studio's other choice for Morpheus was Val Kilmer, which would have changed the film entirely. He would have ruined it, he concluded, and he did everyone a favor. Today, he is 57. Neo endures because Keanu Reeves made stillness powerful, and because the biggest star in the world walked away from him. Sean Connery walked away from what may be the largest paycheck in film history. Born on August 25, 1930 in Edinburgh, Scotland, Connery was around 70 when Peter Jackson wanted him for Gandalf in The Lord of the Rings. According to widely circulated reports, the offer was $30 million plus 15% of the trilogy's box office takings. The 3 films went on to gross close to $3 billion worldwide, which would have made that back-end share worth somewhere near $450 million. Connery never publicly confirmed the specifics of the offer, so the exact figure should be treated as reported rather than certain. What he did confirm, repeatedly and without embarrassment, was the reason. He read the book, he read the script, he saw the film, and he still did not understand it. He also praised Ian McKellen's performance as marvelous, which suggests no bitterness at all. Connery made The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen instead, his final on-screen role, and then retired. Peter Jackson has since said he is quietly glad it worked out the way it did, suspecting Connery would not have been as generous or as patient with the production as McKellen was. Sean Connery passed away on October 31, 2020 at the age of 90. Gandalf endures because McKellen made wisdom warm, and because the most famous Scotsman alive read it 3 times and still said no. Eric Stoltz did not almost play Marty McFly. He played him for 5 weeks, and most of that footage has never been released. Born on September 30, 1961 in American Samoa, Stoltz was in his early 20s and highly regarded as a serious dramatic actor when he was cast in Back to the Future. Michael J. Fox had been the first choice from the beginning, but he was locked into Family Ties, and the producers were told he was unavailable. So filming began with Stoltz in the role, and it went on for weeks before Robert Zemeckis and the producers reached an uncomfortable conclusion. Stoltz was giving a genuinely good performance. It simply was not funny. He was playing Marty as drama when the film needed comedy. Recasting mid-production is one of the most expensive decisions a studio can make, and they made it anyway. Fox was released to shoot the film at night and on weekends while continuing to film Family Ties by day, running on almost no sleep for months. Stoltz went on to a long and respected career in film and television, including Mask, Pulp Fiction, and extensive work as a director. Today, he is 64. Marty McFly endures because Michael J. Fox made Panic funny, and because a studio was willing to burn 5 weeks of film to find that out. John Travolta turned down Forrest Gump, and he has never pretended otherwise. Born on February 18, 1954 in Englewood, New Jersey, Travolta was in his late 30s and in the middle of a serious career slump when the script came to him. He passed. Tom Hanks took the part instead and won his 2nd consecutive Academy Award for Best Actor in a film that went on to win Best Picture and gross more than $600 million worldwide. Travolta has spoken about it publicly and with good humor, acknowledging it was a mistake and noting that Hanks was extraordinary in it. What makes the story more interesting is what happened next. That same period brought Quentin Tarantino to his door with Pulp Fiction, a role that resurrected his career completely and earned him his own Academy Award nomination. Travolta has suggested that if he had taken Gump, he would very likely not have been available for Vincent Vega. Today, he is 72. Forrest Gump endures because Tom Hanks made decency believable, and because the man who said no got the greatest comeback of the decade in exchange. Michelle Pfeiffer turned down Clarice Starling, and her reason had nothing to do with the quality of the film. Born on April 29, 1958 in Santa Ana, California, Pfeiffer was in her early 30s and one of the most in-demand actresses in Hollywood when The Silence of the Lambs came to her. She has spoken about it since, explaining that she found the material genuinely disturbing and could not reconcile herself to spending months inside that darkness. It was a considered decision rather than a dismissive one. Jodie Foster, who had pursued the part relentlessly, took it instead and won the Academy Award for Best Actress. The film became only the 3rd in history to sweep the 5 major Oscar categories. Pfeiffer went on to a formidable career of her own, including Batman Returns, The Age of Innocence, and a long later run in the Marvel films. Today she is 68. Clarice Starling endures because Jodie Foster made Fear steady, and because the actress who passed did so for reasons anyone could understand. Burt Reynolds turned down both Han Solo and James Bond, which may be the single most expensive pair of decisions on this list. Born on February 11, 1936 in Lansing, Michigan, Reynolds was the biggest box office draw in America for a stretch of the 1970s, which meant almost every major role passed through his hands first. He was approached about James Bond and declined, reportedly because he believed an American should not play the character. He was also considered for Han Solo and passed on that as well. Reynolds spoke openly in later years about the roles he turned down, a list that also included parts in Terms of Endearment and Die Hard, and he described some of those choices with real regret. What he chose instead was Smokey and the Bandit: Deliverance, a run of films that made him for a time the most popular actor alive. Burt Reynolds passed away on September 6, 2018 at the age of 82. Han Solo and James Bond endure because 2 other actors made them permanent, and because the biggest star in America let both walk past him. Molly Ringwald turned down Pretty Woman, and the film she rejected was not the film that was eventually made. Born on February 18, 1968 in Roseville, California, Ringwald was the defining young actress of the 1980s through her work with John Hughes in 16 Candles, The Breakfast Club, and Pretty in Pink. When the Pretty Woman script arrived, it was a considerably darker story than the romantic comedy audiences know, and Ringwald has said she simply could not connect with the material. Julia Roberts took the role instead. The script was substantially rewritten and lightened, and the film became one of the biggest romantic comedies ever made, turning Roberts into a global star overnight. Ringwald has discussed the decision with characteristic bluntness in the years since, and she has also spoken thoughtfully about how her career changed as she aged out of the teenage roles that made her famous. She has continued working steadily in film, television, and theater, and has become a respected writer and translator. Today, she is 58. Vivian endures because Julia Roberts made warmth irresistible, and because the biggest teen star of the era read the same pages and saw something else. Nicolas Cage turned down Aragorn in The Lord of the Rings, and he has been open about why. Born on January 7, 1964 in Long Beach, California, Cage was in his mid-30s and coming off an Academy Award for leaving Las Vegas when the role came to him. The production required a year and a half in New Zealand, and Cage has said he turned it down for family reasons, unwilling to be that far from his children for that long. The part went to Viggo Mortensen, who was cast at extremely short notice and arrived in New Zealand without having read the books. Cage has also acknowledged passing on other significant roles over the years, including parts in The Matrix and Lord of the Rings in the same period. He has never been precious about it, describing his choices as the natural cost of a career that has always followed its own logic. He continues to work at a remarkable pace, and has enjoyed a critical resurgence with films including Pig and Dream Scenario. Today, he is 62. Aragorn endures because Viggo Mortensen made reluctance noble, and because he almost was not there at all. Jack Nicholson was considered for Michael Corleone, and he has said something surprising about it. Born on April 22, 1937 in Neptune City, New Jersey, Nicholson was in his early 30s and rising fast after Easy Rider when The Godfather was casting. Paramount wanted a star, and Francis Ford Coppola wanted Al Pacino, and the fight over that casting became one of the most famous production battles in Hollywood history. Nicholson has spoken about the role since, and rather than expressing regret, he has said plainly that he believed then and still believes that Indians should play roles written for Indians and that the part belonged to an Italian-American actor. Pacino got it, nearly lost it several times during filming, and delivered one of the greatest performances in American cinema. Nicholson went on to 3 Academy Awards and a career few actors have matched, including One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Chinatown, and The Shining. Today, he is 89. Michael Corleone endures because Pacino made silence terrifying, and because the studio spent months trying to give the part to somebody else. Gwyneth Paltrow turned down Rose in Titanic, and she has admitted it was a mistake. Born on September 27, 1972 in Los Angeles, California, Paltrow was in her early 20s and being considered seriously for the role when she decided against it. She has spoken about the decision on more than one occasion, acknowledging with some embarrassment that she had turned down what became one of the highest-grossing films ever made. Kate Winslet, who pursued the part with famous persistence, took it and became a household name at 22, going on to eventually win an Academy Award for The Reader. Paltrow's career did not suffer for it. She won her own Academy Award for Shakespeare in Love just a year after Titanic swept the Oscars, and later became part of the Marvel franchise as Pepper Potts before shifting most of her attention to her business ventures. Today, she is 53. Rose endures because Kate Winslet made stubbornness beautiful, and because the role was very nearly somebody else's.